Booyah! Hey, what's happening, good people? How y'all doing out there tonight? I know y'all like, Kilolo, what you doing? You was just in the hair salon a few minutes ago. Now y'all know how us hairstylists get down. You know what I'm saying? What's happening? I hope you guys are having an absolute wonderful evening, as Cheryl and I are. We are trying something very new with our podcasting skills. We're doing pretty good on the dumbest shit that people say about black hair, but we had to take it to another level, didn't we, Cheryl?
Yep. Yeah.
So let me just tell you this before we get started. We're gonna tell y'all what this platform is about. If you are new, joining us here on YouTube or Facebook, you have just tuned in. We have a new podcast. I've got to get used to the name. Hold on, I did write it down to make sure I wouldn't forget it. It's called Planet Pluto Pseudo, and this is the Black Hair Care Myth Busting Podcast. Now, the difference between this podcast and our other podcasts is that there's a plight to textured hair that we just can't cover like we want to when we are talking about the dumb shit that people say about black hair. Because in that podcast, we discovered it's even dumber shit that people are being taught about black hair. And so what we're going to do on this platform is we're going to address the dumb shit that people are teaching about black hair. But before we get into the topic, sure, I got to tell you this. My cousin, my aunt, she passed. So we were at the repast, and my cousin was like, you always on social media talking about hair. Can you talk about something else? So this podcast is dedicated to my cousin Paulette. Mwah! No, I can't talk about shit else. So Paulette, these podcasts are dedicated to you. She is my beautiful, loving cousin. So cousin, this podcast is for you because she says you're just so passionate about hair, and that we are. So Cheryl, what can people look forward to in your words about this podcast? Because this was going to get real. So Cheryl, share with them why you want to do this tonight, every Thursday night at 10. I don't know what we're going to do when we get us some significant others. But for now, it's just us. So let me drink some Afro water because it's Afro Hair Summit water. If y'all want to get some, just inbox me and sure we'll sell y'all some. It makes you real smart, don't it? You drink this, it'll deactivate them damn pseudo myths about hair. Watch this. Go ahead.
I think that we are going to be a little more direct in this particular series. And my team came up with Planet Pluto Pseudo because I don't know if you guys remember, is that a group of scientists told the whole world that Pluto was no longer in the solar system. They're no longer counting Pluto as part of our solar system.
What you talking about, Willis? What? What's up? I see y'all in the chat. Welcome. What's up, y'all? Welcome. So tell them.
So what we decided to do was that is to start holding people accountable.
Sorry.
Because we pride ourselves in our educational institutions in this country and in the world abroad. And we also produce professors, educators, teachers, and we give these people our trust, and we give them degrees, we give them prestige, we give them notoriety. They start writing books, and then they become experts. But for some reason, hair of Black people, the hair that grows on Black people's hair, we believe that we can say anything. Anything. It doesn't have to make sense. Black hair history, black hair, anything. And I think what is dangerous is when you begin to motivate people by sensationalizing them and creating this emotionality around some of the things that we say. And then what we end up having is that people that know that probably our scholar and our information is too low or not there at all, they begin to create, this following, this whole groundswell, this whole fame, or whatever the case may be, they create. It is built around enforcing myths, not correcting them, not allowing us to maybe fact check and create a critical analysis. And so, in Black people's skin, hair, essence, lightness, self worth, self value, their image, their features, and how that fits into history, we've got to get it right. Because, first of all, we can. And the low level intellectual laziness got to go.
Okay, hold on. So you saying that we gonna have to confront some of this head on because folk just be making things up. And here's the thing: what you guys have got to understand. I don't know why it's something about black hair that people just like making shit up. But on the same token, sure, we just have to be honest. Now, when I did my book, What They Don't Tell You at the Hair Salon, I was really on a journey trying to figure out, a school is supposedly, a school is good in America when it's quote unquote accredited, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when a school is accredited, now don't you guys now remember this is the planet Pseudo. So Cheryl and I, we are not above being corrected here. So we're gonna need you guys to help us out because we're gonna single-handedly tackle this elephant in the room. And I don't know we can mount that sucker, but we going hard, you know what I'm saying? But I believe that the accreditation process. What's up, Anissa? What's going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So the accreditation process, I believe, is to ensure that the school, has a certain level of, performance and equitable and all this other, stuff. And then for the students is going to ensure that, everybody who enters that institution, they're getting that standard. So
Yes.
when you're accredited, they're going to make sure like the schools ain't, messing up the money. They just going to make sure, they're not going to write everything. So what I tried to do was I tried to figure out, well, who told them what to do?
Right.
Because what we're saying on this platform is that Afro hair has been marginalized in the education of barbering, cosmetology, and natural hairstyling, in as much not one person can really tell us, unless we're wrong now, what are you guys' sources on the science of particularly this coiled textured hair? And
Right.
so people are just making stuff up. And so again, this is the plight of Afro hair. We're going to cover some history here, of course. For sure, we got to cover some education, you know what I'm saying? Of course, we're going to have to cover some legalities around it, right? And then we got to cover the people who work in it, right? And of course, we got to cover, the consumer. So this podcast is going to be a little bit different, not a lot of hair care tips, but we are going to just bust up the chivalry. Now, we are not attacking any person. We are talking about the content. So what we're going to do to start these off every Thursday at 10 o'clock, we're not going to do the typical, what's that when we start current events. We're going to have these reels called Come On, Y'all. Get real, So these are reels. Now, these are on TikTok. I'm only going on TikTok because TikTok is where all of the people, the natural hairstylists, they jumped off of YouTube. They left YouTube and they ran over to TikTok because they saw that the natural hair was going where? Down, right? So they saw the natural hair movement was like pure, straight up shitty, the sucky face, which I told y'all. I told you guys that natural hair movement was, man, that was worse than them Trumpsters on January the 6th. That I'm just saying, okay. Instead of putting Trump's face up, we need to put those natural hairstyle. I knew that natural hair movement was gonna flop. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna start the show off with our top 3. Come on, y'all, get real. Now, y'all know me. I'm Kilolo. I am going to be pro the pseudo, and Cheryl is going to bust it up. All right. Now, I work in the industry. Cheryl's not really behind the chair like I am. So I really get to hear the pseudo. And here's the thing, guys. There's no education preparing us to deal with the pseudo shit that's coming at us from behind the chairs. I'm not making this up. As licensed cosmetologists, the only thing we have to say is stop watching social media. But customers are like, whatever, because she's got 35,000 likes. You guys only have 4 people in your chat, so y'all ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna do our first get real. Hold up, what you call it? How do you say that? Okay, Arnisa Barnwell, you'd be surprised. Oh, let me put this up right quick. Hold on. Oh, this is good. Okay, Arnisa, you gonna hang out with us? All right, you'd be surprised how many people don't want to know the science behind it. Okay. And it's sad they only want to make money. What they don't know is if they get the foundational education. You are 100% correct. We know the beauty industry is a cash cow. Now, I'm not broke. So I'm not saying that the industry, you should not make money. We are not saying that. But to your point, Ms. Barnwell, is that we have to be ethical. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to hold these people accountable. So, Cheryl, let's get ready for some, come on, y'all, get reels. I'm going to pick the top 3 now. You guys join in with us. Please send us some reels that you want to know. Is this a come on, y'all, get real? So just send them to us at ladoshaw@yahoo.com, or you can follow us on Facebook or whatever. And just, you can even drop the link in the live and then, or in the comment section, and we will click on it and see if we can come on and get real. Now, here we go. So you ready for this one? You guys are going to love these. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, here's the first one. These are how we're going to open it up. All right, so welcome to our new podcast, and thank you guys so much. This podcast is called what? Planet Pluto Pseudo. This is the Black Haircare. What? How about that one? The Black Haircare. If that ain't a myth, I don't know what is. Black Haircare myth busting podcast. Even the term black hair, that's a damn myth. Okay, so let's get ready to rumble with our first. Come on, y'all, get real. Ready, Cheryl? Here we go.
Stop putting oil on your hair. I'm Cheryl. I'm a 17-year-old natural hair cosmetologist, and water cannot penetrate your hair strands because oil and water do not mix. So that's why your hair is so poofy. That's why your hair doesn't take anything. So instead, here's the substitution. Get a lot of water when you're doing your conditioner. That's why you keep running out of conditioner and you hurting your pockets. But lots of water every time you do anything to your hair. Get a little bit of gel and it's going to give you that same hold. You do not need a leave-in conditioner. Stop doing that too. You're wasting your money. You should follow me and be on the winning team and become a curly head and learn more about your hair, even if you wear wigs or braids or whatever. Even if you're a boy, what y'all scared to come over here for?
Come on, y'all.
What did she say?
Come on, y'all. Come on now. So here's the thing, Cheryl. So first of all, the truth of the matter is hair, it absorbs moisture, water. And so when you put conditioner on your hair and you don't add water to help it move through your hair, it's really not working. So you're really wasting your money if you just keep putting all this conditioner and you don't put a lot of water to help the moisture get into your hair. Come on. What you got to say about that?
Gotcha.
Now,
Okay.
and remember, guys, she says she's a natural cosmetologist. Now, we're not
Oh,
attacking
she's a
her.
natural
Right.
cosmetologist.
We're not attacking her. This is the content, not her. She is a natural cosmetologist. And this is why we need to have these conversations, because who's teaching her? But I'm on her side because I work behind the chair every day. And so we just gotta have to go ahead on and keep it 100. I mean, water does do that, Cheryl.
Water does do what?
It does help spread
It travels, and it goes into the nooks and crannies, and it goes into the protein fiber, and the water lands where?
inside the hair.
Inside. Okay.
And moisturizes it and makes it strong, and protects your hair so your ends and stuff don't break off.
Okay. And we do that every time, right? So where does the water go? Because that would mean that you would have to, when you do it once, the water stays inside. Does the water go anywhere?
Well, when you rinse it out and you squeeze the water, smarty pants, when you squeeze the water is coming out of the hair. She act like, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, you got to give me a drum roll. Right. No one told her that. She just made that up.
So, you know what? We are not taught that. We're not taught that in cosmetology school. Go ahead.
Right. We're not taught in cosmetology about any moisturization that is supposed to be in the hair. We know when we cut the hair, water don't come out, right?
When you squeeze it, then what do you got to say about that? What is that when I squeeze my hair? So you're going to tell me that ain't water coming out?
That's wet. That's not moisture that's coming out.
But if I squeeze it, when I squeeze
but you just wet it.
But if I squeeze
let me ask you a question. Did the water go inside?
It did. That's why when I squeezed it.
So squeeze some out now.
I flat on it.
No. Squeeze some out now.
But I flat on it, so it's all.
No. Oh, okay, so it's so locked in there.
It's sealed.
It's so locked in there that you can wring it out now, and water will come out now. The water will come out now, and unfortunately,
it won't, because I done flat on it by now. I mean, it's dry.
So, hair, like fingernails, is designed, ladies and gentlemen. No one told her that. No instructor told her that. No scientist told her that. No doctor told her that. Hopefully no dermatologist told her that. Nobody told her that. And at Planet Pluto. I'm sorry, Pluto is still in the solar system, y'all. Somebody just said that one day. It's still there. The arrogance of making things up is unfortunately designed to make the person who is saying it smarter.
Okay.
Problem is that you cannot, water doesn't go inside your fingernails. Water don't go inside your skin like that. Water doesn't even go in your skin like that. And the unfortunate part is that she's going to get a lot of people to, oh my God, you shouldn't use leave-in conditioner. Oh my gosh, she must know something that I don't know.
She got 35,000 likes.
Okay, she got 35,000 likes because I think she's a cute little girl. She had her little lip gloss was popping, and all of that. But I don't think she got 35,000 likes because she was so well informed. Unfortunately, that it is going to have to be the viewer who says, can you substantiate that with some science, please? And then that will stop us from just saying things to our hair, because our hair is very special.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that, and I'm going to end every, myth bust with the fact that we need to be able to give her an option so she can round out her thought and be able to self-correct and actually say something that is scientifically sound so she can better serve her customers. That's what this podcast really actually is about. Stop saying it. Let's correct it so you can go back to your customers and then sound like you know what you're talking about.
All right. Okay. So here go another one. Come on, y'all. Get real. We got one more. Here we go. Two more. Here we go. Come on, y'all. Get real.
This client is freshly cleansed with 2 clarifying shampoos and 1 moisturizing shampoo. But you can see her hair still repels water as if it were dirty or had oil buildup. Her hair isn't dirty. She has low porosity hair, which means her hair doesn't easily absorb moisture. That's why you can see water gliding off of her hair and droplets sitting on top of her hair. So what do we do about this? Learn more in the caption.
Come on, y'all. Y'all get real. So when you have low porosity hair, your hair is low porosity, it's resistant to water. The water will glide off the hair. Again, it won't absorb.
No, porosity don't mean that. If I just told you keratin protein is hydrophobic, it does not have a porosity until you chemically treat it and create a porosity. It has no porosity. When you go outside and you jog at 6 o'clock in the morning and you see beads of droplets of water on leaves, you gonna say the leaves got low porosity?
See, the problem with you smart people is that y'all don't do hair. And so you don't understand
I don't do hair
that
anymore.
the hair is resisting. You see the droplets is beating up on top of the hair. So what do you say about the beating? Because the oil water, you
That
heard
is
the other girl.
surface tension. Surface tension is always going to the bead that you saw on that video was going away from the polar energy in the coil. It's science. It has nothing to do with the fact that it don't have nowhere to go. That is idiot. That's idiocy.
So our eyes, we're using what we see with our eyes as science. Is that what I've been doing all this time?
Well, your eyes are not trained. Any physician, any clinician, any trichologist, or any type of cosmetologist, or any type of esthetician, you can only train your eyes until you become so experienced that you can hear symptoms and attach it to some kind of prognosis or diagnosis. But you have to be years of that. You can't just study something and just say something because nobody told her that. She made that up because the natural hair care world as a whole is parlaying and making an environment that does not correct us.
All right. Well, we must have another. What's up, Miss Kayla Burns? Kayla Burns says, to be honest, it has nothing to do with surface tension and everything to do with oil. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for your comment. So, Cheryl, is Kayla correct that it has nothing to do with surface tension? It's really the oil that's on top of the hair that's what she's experienced. If I'm correct, Kayla, you can add a little bit more, but let's just see if Kayla is she better.
Right, but she just got through telling you she used 3 shampoos. There's no oil there. There's no oil there.
Well, maybe she couldn't get it off.
And the droplet wasn't moving. It wasn't sliding. It had the force of the nozzle. Even with the force after she turned it off, the droplet stayed right there and had a droplet. And when you explain the science of droplets on what we call surface, the droplet follows the polar energy. It just stays
so what you're saying is there's something which word I want to use? There's something what's the word I want to use? It's not science. Come on, y'all, help me. Y'all know I only have so much education. So there's something that's happening. There's a reaction that we can't.
If there was oil on the hair, it wouldn't have beaded. But it's creating little droplets that have a certain polar of protons or electrons. And it's attracted and it's trying to get away from the surface. So it creates these little round beads.
So we are ignoring
highly coiled hair. You don't ever see that on straight textures.
Hold on.
Because there's
hold on, Cheryl. She coming through. Wait a come on, Kayla. Come on, Kayla. Kayla says, I am a molecular scientist. And trust me, when I say a man who goes to bed with the itchy bum will wake up with a sticky finger. But boo-boo ain't the same as hair oil.
Yeah, because feces has water in it. That's why it goes to liquid. It appears solid, but it's actually liquid. It's soluble. It's water soluble. Beads, it means that the surface is pulling one way and the water is pulling another. And that is why she just told you, she went in there with an oil-based moisturizer shampoo. She did it twice. Then she went in there with a clarifying shampoo. She
clarified it. She clarified it twice. Then she came back with the moisturizer.
Right. So the second shampoo has all kind of waxes, all kind of polymers, all kind of humectants, all kinds of oils in it, and it's still beaded. Doesn't make a difference because the first thing you put on the hair is what the hair is what's going to dictate what that surface is going to do.
That's true.
It doesn't matter what you put on afterwards and afterwards and afterwards and afterwards and afterwards. At the end of the day, you take and put in soil. You put in water the first time. You put in the plant food the third time. The plant food gonna sit there until you water the plant the next 2 weeks. It only embodies and brings in and swells in a little bit. The rest of that shit goes down the drain.
That's true. They do tell you that.
Well, but at the end of the day, as a hairstylist, I don't give a damn if you are a molecular scientist. Protein has a dictation and indication of characteristics and how it behaves with the ecosystem. Period. And end of story. Protein is fibrous. It's phobic. It does not accept water.
Okay.
Period.
Okay. So this
doesn't.
All right. So again, we are, you guys, this is our first episode. We are on planet Pluto. All right. Pseudo, the Black Haircare Myth Busting Podcast. And we're already busting some myths about protein. Protein is not permeable with water. You just can't.
And that's a very good word because permeation, absorption, and penetration, they're not the same thing. Do you understand what I'm saying? Permeation is depending on how uneven the surfaces are, and that water will travel the path, and then it'll sit if it has no path. but it has no suction. Absorption is a suction, means that the surface in contact with water creates a kind of metabolic or catalytic process, and then it absorbs. Penetration means that there is something in the product that makes it like a smoking patch. It makes it go inside. That's penetration.
Yeah.
That's a force.
Okay. So we have to understand that to the naked eye and other, and other parts of the body, and what's happening out in other, ecosystems, like she said, plants and flowers and like these curtains, back here. It's not quite like hair. We're kind of using these as analogies, but what is happening when it comes to, again, Afro textured hair is that there is no source on what people say when they say things like that. They really cannot source that. We are not taught that in cosmetology school. I should have brought my cosmetology book. I will bring it from now on, but it is taught in cosmetology school that you can only get through that protein, this keratin. I think somebody put in the chat. Here she go. Thank you so much, Ms. Barnwell. Keratinized hair. You're going to have something that's low in alkaline by way of color, powder light. Yeah, so it's the alkaline. So unfortunately, water doesn't, the alkalinity in water, it just won't happen. So Ms. Burns, we thank you so very much. We like to have a molecular scientist in the chat to give us some healthy dialogue. So stay with us. We have one more. Come on, y'all. Get real clip, and then we got to get into the topic. We're doing good, Cheryl. Here's our last. Come on, y'all. Get real clip. Here we go.
Who you know that's crazy enough to cut off all of their hair to prove why our hair growth oil is the best on the market? Me. I did it. And look at me 2 weeks later. Go get your oil today.
Come on, y'all.
When did 2 weeks happen?
Oh, hold on. Let me play it again. I'm ready for you, Cheryl. Hold on. One more time. Come on, y'all. Get real. Here we go. REEL. Here we go.
Who you know that's crazy enough to cut off all of their hair to prove why our hair growth oil is the best on the market? Me. I did it. And look at me 2 weeks later. Go get your oil today.
Come on, y'all. I cut my hair. I'm going to buy some of that oil. And in 2 weeks, Cheryl, 2 weeks.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, see, no one told her, no scholar, no scientist, no biologist, no dermatologist, nobody told her anything on the outside of your scalp and hair is going to make your hair grow. No one told her that.
Now, beauty, according to Miss Y, says, liar, 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 pants on fire. Now, Miss Beauty, you don't really think she had a video and she showed us she
2
cut
weeks
her
later.
hair, and then 2 weeks later, see, y'all don't believe that's what's wrong with y'all on this. See, I'm telling y'all.
Okay. So, so did she do it 2 weeks later?
Hold on. Now I'm gonna show this one because I know I ain't the only one. This lady hair, it grew. Okay, hold on. Is this the one?
Who you know that's crazy?
You gonna play it?
Oh wait, hold on. Oh, I gotta take the comment down. I'm sorry, y'all know I gotta learn how to work this out. Hold on, wait a minute. I gotta learn how to work the little things. Okay. It won't let me do it. Hold on. You said you don't care. She said she don't care. Wait a minute. Hold on, Miss Beauty. According to Miss White. Hold on. That's what she said.
Who you know that's crazy enough to cut off all of their hair to prove why our hair growth oil is the best on the market? Me. I did it. And look at me 2 weeks later. Go get your oil today.
Come on, y'all. Now, I don't know that she cut it all off. That's I just saw that. Okay. I see you. I see you, Beauty, according to my, you might be on to something, Beauty, according to Miss Y. She didn't cut it off, but she said in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. It was the last picture. That was the same haircut.
Well, I think we should try her hair oil and we should put it to the test and see what happens. So if anybody wants to buy some, I will put her link.
Now, didn't we solidify at the Afro Hair Science Summit, right, that hair does not reach, so everyone in the natural hair world, in the natural cosmetology world, I'm not sure if dermatologists have debunked this myth that the nutrients to make the cells divide to make the hair go into the anabolic phase does not come from the blood vessels. Now, we solidified that. However, but the whole world says that the hair grows from nutrients from a blood vessel. So how would oil on the outside do that?
Well, Tennille makes a good point. She says she wants to see the timeline. So she
no, you're not supposed to see that, Miss Royce.
Miss Royce, we're not going to see that.
You're not supposed to see that.
Okay.
You're supposed to be overwhelmed.
Right. Now, she says, to your point, Beauty, according to Ms. Y, she says it's a marketing strategy.
Absolutely.
So, okay, guys, there you have it. Buyer beware.
But do we still need to agree what creates the metabolic process from the resting, the evacuation to the growth phase? Is it blood? Is it the burger you ate? Is it the biotin that you put in your, is the hair bulb activated by blood, which creates the cell in the inner roof sheet from the bulb, and it goes up, you know what I mean? And goes, goes up regulated. All right. It goes down. Okay. Now, what makes that happen? Blood or receptors?
Well, according to her, it's going to be her hair oil.
From the outside.
There's something about her.
So something's going to go inside that follicle.
Something is going to go. Once you put this on her oil on the scalp, right?
Oh, okay.
Then it's gonna get down. It's gonna absorb into each one follicle, right? And it's gonna get into your system. This is a special oil, and it's gonna get in there, and it's something scientific that's happening because these oils are natural, for your information, and the hair would just grow. And you don't need the timeline, Miss Royce, so you have to trust me on this one. So that's the magic of the oil. See, that's what's one y'all don't believe out here. Like y'all don't believe.
Okay.
But if the oil is natural, it can, because the skin recognizes it. My skin would know that. My scalp.
The receptors in your scalp recognizes growth.
Her particular. Everybody's oil don't do this, but her oil. She said, "Go get you some."
Okay. Well, Planet Pluto. Pseudo.
All right, she can't come. Okay, if that's the case, y'all gonna be a man again. If that's the case, we are born with hair and oil. It's not applied in the womb. Oh, that's a good one. Y'all always get buck wild on these platforms. I don't know. Y'all bold up in these chats, man. I'm here to tell y'all. That's a good point if that's the case. Well, I'm sorry. So I think we're gonna.
I will. No one told her your fingers, your skin, your elbows, your knees, your heels, your skin, your legs, your face, your scalp. No one. And it's very strange how we say things like that. But if you have natural oils in your hair, why would you need oils from the outside?
I think that's what beauty according to Miss Y is saying. And again, which is
And
a
let me
very
just say
good
this:
point.
when you wash them away, doesn't your hair still grow? If that's also the point.
Yeah.
That's what we call about planet Pluto Pseudo.
All right.
Is yeah.
That's very interesting. But what's not interesting is that you guys have decided to partner with us tonight. So we have this to say to you guys.
Pampa me on, pampa me on.
You guys are officially our partners. We love the healthy dialogue and we appreciate you all so very much. So make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you know a licensed professional or you got your own cosmetologist or barber or natural hairstylist and you want them to get some correct information. Also, if they have some questions, again, please invite them to come over and join us Thursday night, after they get off from work on their ride home or whatever, they can, drop some comments in the chat. And Cheryl and I, we would love to have a healthy dialogue. We are going to confront the big fat elephant in the room. And that is all about this pseudo information that's being pushed and promulgated, all this other crazy stuff. So we're not going to keep you guys all night long, but we do have some clips from two hair scientists. Now, remember, on this platform, we're going to do this in a very unique way, in as much we are addressing like themes. So this one is really all about education. So here we have two clips from one, she's a chemist, and the other one, she is a trichologist in training. And so now, again, where we're trying to go with this is about the education on the Afro coiled. And let's see, Cheryl, if you can maybe find out where they're getting this information from and what is true. And we just can't say it enough. We are not attacking the people. It is the content. Like Cheryl said, I know I've said a lot of wrong stuff, and that is part of my job as a cosmetologist, is being forthright, is being ethical, and sometimes you're taught stuff that's incorrect. Sometimes, new stuff comes in and they have to come back in and teach us something new. So again, we are not picking on the people. We are trying to get the content correct. Why? Because this is Planet Pluto, Pseudo, the Black Haircare myth busting podcast. So Cheryl, let's go with this one. This one here, this hair scientist is, again, this whole absorbing water. So remember, she's a trichologist in training. So let's hear what she has to say.
So what you guys are about to see is not just one hair scientist's opinion, but I'm also going to include in this video some snippets from my conversation with one of my colleagues. When it comes to hair that is dry feeling better than hair that is moisturized, this is probably due to the fact that when hair absorbs water, it swells, which then causes a lift in the cuticle layer, causing the surface of the hair to have a bit more friction. And of course, as the water begins to evaporate and the hair begins to dry, the opposite then happens, leaving the hair feeling and looking a bit smoother and softer. The thing is, she's right. Under a microscope, hair that is less engorged with water, my goodness, I'm so sorry for my choice of words, but you get what I mean.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
We just can't make this up. Why would a hair sign, like, who's teaching this?
No
we-
one
we
told.
don't-
No one told
She
her.
is in school. Somebody is teaching this, Cheryl. I can't.
Well, there, you can't look in Milady. Milady didn't teach her that.
Let's go back through some talking points. She said it absorbs. The hair absorbs. When it sits in that water, it's going to lift. When it dries, you get some friction. Then what's happening? The water is going to evaporate. And this process, she's saying that the hair is becoming engorged with water. I guess kind of like, you know how wood, you guys know what I'm talking about? You know how you put some wood and it sits in water, right? And then the wood begins to kind of buckle and swell, and it starts cracking. And then when it dries, it kind of, you know, you scrape it, you get like a splinter or something. So I think that's the engorgement she's talking about.
Right. Now, what is the difference between wood and protein?
Well, wood has all these different layers, little, you know, fibers of, you know, wood.
Right. But what is wood? Trees.
Right. They're hardened.
Right. But it comes from, but trees weather from the outside. They'll get cracky and they'll get dry, but you can never moisturize it. You can never make it flexuous if its nature is not to do that. There is some flexuous woods products, but you have to make them that way. They don't come like that. Does that make sense? So in terms of Black people understanding, to make wood flexuous and to make different types of woods, to make them bendable and palatable and flexible, that's what we call chemical treatments. That's the equivalent of making a keratin fiber flexuous or longer or straighter. That's the equivalent. But everybody wants to say, leave the wood natural, and then they want it to do all the things that they want something to do if it was flexuous. But you can't
but don't trees like those palm trees in the storm, aren't they like bending?
But they're not, the stalk is not bending. It's swaying. It's not bending. Because the bark is not designed to do that. By the time it leans over, it's leaning, but it bends. A building that is designed to be earthquake proof.
All right, but her point about the hair, you know, being engorged with water and, you know,
protein is vinyl fabric. Protein is not like natural fibers, like linen, cotton. They don't soak. The water doesn't permeate. Doesn't do that. Protein is phobic.
Why are we hell bent on the hair absorbing water theory? Why? Let me play it one more time. Let's just hear it. We really, in the beauty industry, this is like the number one selling point for everything that we sell, from our treatments, everything. We don't do that at our salon, but this is very popular. So let's just hear it one more time.
So what you guys are about to see is not just one hair scientist's opinion, but I'm also going to include in this video some snippets from my conversation with one of my colleagues. When it comes to hair that is dry feeling better than hair that is moisturized, this is probably due to the fact that when hair absorbs water, it swells, which then causes a lift in the cuticle layer, causing the surface of the hair to have a bit more friction. And of course, as the water begins to evaporate and the hair begins to dry, the opposite then happens, leaving the hair feeling and looking looking a bit smoother and softer. The thing is, she's right. Under a microscope, hair that is less engorged with water, my goodness, I'm so sorry for my choice of words, but you get what I mean.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Freaking love that.
Come on now. I took that off of Twitter.
I think
She says dry feeling better when it's moisturized. I mean,
well, you
gotta
well,
get it,
yes, it is.
Cheryl.
You can only check moisturization with fingertips. You cannot check hydration. The reason why, by the time a person gets hydrated, they're sick. So they go to the hospital. They take the blood test. They'll come back to you and say the blood has low electrolytes, so they're dehydrated. You cannot see hydration. You can't see it because it's supposed to be in the intercellular tissue. We want to think that in the marketing world of beauty products, we want to think that all these gorgeous bottles are fulfilling the hydration, because what we do in cosmetology, we do so many things, and weathering, we use gels, we use sugars, we use mousses, we use holding sprays, we use alcohols, we use all these things to make the surfaces and the integrity of the surfaces and protein very petrified and dry and all that. So the fingertips is guiding all of this particular marketing world. We want to think that we have a surface and we open up a door. The cuticle lets the water go in. We shut the door behind it. The water goes in there, and now it starts being all fabulous and wonderful. But protein don't work like that. It just doesn't.
Well, this is I mean,
and by the time it swells, you need some kind of the hair but here's the thing. You only see this in that kind of phenomenon once the surface of the cuticle has been compromised, or it has been altered, or it has been enhanced by a chemical treatment. You're not seeing that. You just saw the beads of hair on top of a natural girl's hair. You just saw that. And it's almost like you can't, cosmetology keeps conflating the conversation because, yes, swelling and opening and changing in diameter and size and all of that belongs in cosmetology. Natural hair care cannot borrow cosmetological things and then put it with natural phenomenon. It does. You're using two different disciplines of thoughts. You want to borrow the hair shaft of a color treated or a textured surface, but then when it comes to natural, you don't understand that naturally your hair is naturally phobic. It doesn't penetrate anything. So I think that is, I got a bridge to sell you.
Oh, that's powerful. That's what you just said is very, very powerful, because you know what? Now we're starting to see the natural hair people are now starting to move into, blow drying and straightening hair, and what they call it, like natural press or something. I forgot what the new term was. So we are starting.
We already knew they would.
Yeah. Yeah, so we are starting to see that they are they're teetering over into the world of cosmetology. Nobody wants to go to school. Everybody wants to talk about cosmetology being this junk vocation and so on and so forth. We are not going to argue that it needs some improvement, but there is some foundational truths and some metrics to help us, service people better and more scientifically behind the chair. But we are admitting that needs to be broadened and expanded. However, sure, you are correct. We are starting to see natural hairstylists are moving over into cosmetology by way of borrowing what's happening to hair when you alter with chemicals, and then they want to apply it to hair that has not been altered with chemicals and try to make it make sense. And we're saying, come on, y'all, that's bullshit. Okay. All right. So let's go to the next clip. And this one here, here's another. She is I think she's a cosmetic chemist, and she's going to talk about oils. Okay. I'm just going to talk about oils. All right. So here we go. All right. Let's go.
As a cosmetic chemist, you guys know I gotta go deeper, so bear with me here. Hair and the best oils for our hair, they're either going to be saturated fatty acids or monounsaturated fatty acids. Those two are the best oils for our hair if you're trying to have an oil that penetrates into the hair, because monounsaturated fatty acid and saturated fatty acids typically are linear. Monounsaturated, they do have a double bond that creates a bit of a branch, but it's not as branchy as the polyunsaturated, which I'll talk about in a few. Now, when it comes to saturated fatty acids and monounsaturated fatty acids, these oils typically are coconut oil, avocado, olive oil, babassu oil. Those are great oils for penetrating into the hair because chemically the way they look are very linear. Our hair, the cuticle, is also very linear. So these oils are actually able to have a better affinity to our hair because they're like this, and they can actually penetrate into the hair like this, you know? Now, oils that penetrate into the hair are going to be very beneficial against high growth fatigue. High growth fatigue is when our hair absorbs too much water. And when that happens, our hair expands, but then as it dries, it shrinks. And then we do it again, like wash our hair or have too much water on our hair, it expands and then it shrinks again. So this kind of stresses the hair out, which leads to frizziness and breakage.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Come on. I can't take this pseudo. I can't take it. My cousin Paulette, now do you see why I have to go live? She told me, please stop going live about hair. Paulette, this podcast is dedicated to you. This is my cousin Paulette. Her name is Paulette Weingartner. She is right here on Facebook. She's my real cousin. And I hope you guys see why we have to do this. Now, here's a hair chemist. She's a cosmetic chemist, and her language is really foxy. She's talking about saturated and monosaturated fats. She's saying that these fatty oils, they have chemical linear double bonds that allows the oil to actually penetrate. You're talking about coconut. She talked about babassu and I think it was avocado, that these oils can actually penetrate. Now, I am not a cosmetic chemist by any stretch of the imagination. So please correct me if I'm wrong, but that is the biggest crock of poopa dupa. Again, we are not talking about her as a cosmetic chemist. It is the content. Please tell us.
I am talking about, let me just say this. Now, you are going to play devil's advocate. I'm not. We have to be responsible because the first thing she said when she opened up her video of who and what she was. And people...
Cosmetic chemist.
Right. And people love to hold cosmetologists accountable. Because we go to school and we learn and we study, okay?
And we trust her.
And well, my whole point is that because, and let me just say this, and I'm not saying it just to say this. However, I understand that Afro hair science have never been taught on a wide scale of any institution in the history of mankind. It is not taught at all. Chemistry is not taught from the perspective of Afro hair science. Biology is not taught. Anthropology is not taught. Cosmetic science, geometry, none of that is taught from an Afrocentric perspective. Now, with that said, when we become hair doctors, the only thing that we could possibly be talking about is the British Trichology Society or the medical world of the Western world. That's the only thing that we could be talking about. My point is that when she calls herself doctor, that is very important because at the end of the day, she said it for it to take some what? Credence, to make it what? Important. She's letting us know that she has a social contract and social responsibility to the consumer body. I am saying that I am holding them accountable, not just the content, because that is one of the reasons why, as her colleague in this field, I would like to make sure that this podcast supply her an alternative perspective to contemplate and for her to be able to critically analyze it and to rethink what she is saying, because buyers and people and consumers are basing their choices on this stuff.
But hold on now. She did do that, Cheryl. She said, I'm not going to quote it, but I did take my notes. She said that the saturated monosaturated fatty acids can penetrate, that those bonds are chemically linear, just like the cuticle layers, and that they are able to be absorbed, penetrate, into the hair. And sometimes what we're seeing is this thing called hydro fatigue. So she
has never seen water go into a keratin hair fiber. Microscopy. She
hold on, Master. She did. Let me play the clip because I don't think you saw.
She showed a diagram.
But the diagram, because she probably didn't have a microscope that could record.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
It can.
We have now let me ask you a question.
Sure, hold on, wait a minute. Now let me just get it. She said, let me play the clip because I think you ain't listening to her. Now hold on. Let's just hear one more again.
As a cosmetic chemist, you guys know I gotta go deeper, so bear with me here. Our hair and the best oils for our hair, they're either going to be saturated fatty acids or monounsaturated fatty acids. Those two are the best oils for our hair if you're trying to have an oil that penetrates into the hair, because monounsaturated fatty acid and saturated fatty acids typically are linear. Monounsaturated, they do have a double bond that creates a bit of a branch, but it's not as branchy as the polyunsaturated, which I'll talk about in a few. Now, when it comes to saturated fatty acids and monounsaturated fatty acids, these oils typically are coconut oil, avocado, olive oil, babassu oil. Those are great oils for penetrating into the hair because chemically the way they look are very linear. Our hair, the cuticle, is also very linear. So these oils are actually able to have a better affinity to our hair because they're like this and they can actually penetrate into the hair like this, Now, oils that penetrate into the hair are going to be very beneficial.
Oh, you see that? She kind of showed you with her hands that now maybe we're saying fatty acids.
No, she's talking about how they perform dietary. She's not showing you how they act exogenically. Oils do not have a natural metabolic process on surfaces. You have
what is metabolic process?
Means that's why you have a liver. You eat oils, then it passes through and then it has a catabolic and a metabolic and an anabolic. Remember that? Because The reason why you have 3 cores, a medulla, a cortex, and a cuticle, is because there is a 3 phases. That's why you have the 3 difference of tissue, because they're acting differently. But you don't have any anabolic process on the outside to allow to tell the oil what to do.
So she's talking about hair as if it's a liver. I mean, she wants
to talk about polysaturated mono fats in terms of oils. She wants to give it, once again, she wants to take it how it acts in dietary inside your body. She wants to juxtapose it on how it acts as a surfactant. They don't have the same nature.
Well, why would she do that? Here's what.
You know why she would do it? Because the industry allows her to do it.
Well, this is what Miss Barnes has to say about you. Well, yeah, Miss Barnes, I hope you're still in the chat. She said, you're being very defiant, Cheryl. Now, you just cut this shit out. Now, the lady is a science, and she's a
well, here we go again.
And she said the double bind. You can't knock the double bind. What about that theory? What about the double bind? Hold on, back me up.
She's talking about food science. She's correct. But in cosmetic science, those principles don't apply.
So tell us how they apply cosmetic.
Oils only lubricate. They don't penetrate. They don't cosmetically, they don't have the same nature. You have to have a process of going through your liver. You have to be able, oils do not have a superfluous nutritional value. They only have a nutritional value on a dietary food once it passed through your liver. That's how you start extracting the iron and the B12 and the tocotrienol of the vitamin E oil. You have to have this. This is a complex system when you come to food science, but it doesn't have those principles change when it comes to cosmetic science.
So are you saying that we need to eat? Are you saying we need to eat the coconut, eat the avocado, eat the olive, eat the babasu in order
because the tree is healthy from the inside out to the cuticle, not from the cuticle inside the tree.
Huh? You lost me with that one.
The tree feeds itself from the medulla, then the cortex, then the cuticle. It don't travel from the cuticle to the cortex to the inside. It don't work like that.
That part. Okay.
Yes,
all right, well, we got to wrap this up. One last thing. What about hydro? All right, Beauty According. What's up? Well, she all like, oh, okay, here she go. Yes. All right, okay. All right, but I'm being pseudo out here, okay? I'm for the pseudos. Pseudos, we are not. I need some pseudos to come through. Again, if you guys, look at Miss Foster. What you doing here? You hanging out with us? What's up, Miss Foster? Hey, she said, she thought so. Cheryl just be busting up the chivalry. But hold on, Miss Foster. She ain't gonna get off before we get finished tonight. Hold on. What about this high growth fatigue? I love her. Her vocabulary is just astounding. I mean, I love the way she's real foxy with the saturated acid, mono fatty acid, penetrates, chemically linear, double bond. I like that. Ooh, that just sounds, like I just want to get in the bed. I ain't even gay. You know what I'm saying? She just sounds sexy. And I mean, I'm a nerd. I like that kind of, that kind of turns me on. So what about this high growth fatigue? What about that? What is that?
Dehydration.
You just killed my little orgasm.
Okay,
You know, she just a buzz kill. Penis that went all the way down.
Look it up. Look it up.
Look up what?
Hydro fatigue.
Hygro. Here we go. I'm about don't click it up.
Hydro, not hygro.
That's what she said. She said hygro fatigue.
Did she? I thought she said hydro.
No, she said hygro fatigue. Hold on. Let me see. Hygro. Okay, guys, don't cook it up. Look it up. All right. Hygro. Here it is. Hygro fatigue. Uh-oh. Wait a minute, Cheryl. It is. Hygro fatigue is damage to your hair follicles caused by repeated swelling and unswelling. It occurs when excessive moisture penetrates the outer layer of your hair and overreaches the inner cortex over time. Repeated swelling from hygro fatigue can lead to symptoms such as frizziness, brittleness, and dullness. So this is from the health line. And so there is a such thing as hygro fatigue.
I didn't say there was no such thing.
I mean, okay.
But that belongs in cosmetology.
So hygro fatigue.
You couldn't see, you don't get any swelling naturally. It doesn't naturally happen. You must have that happens in color processing, that happens in processing. That doesn't happen naturally. I just told you the hair is hydrophobic. It can't happen naturally. You just saw the woman's hair in shampoo bowl. That only happens when there is a chemical change in the surface and in the cortex. That happens in chemical treatments, ammonia treatments, acidic treatments, alkaline treatments, sodium hydroxide treatments. It does not happen naturally. With a whole Afro hair and I get caught in the rain, I'm gonna have me some hygro fatigue. I mean, it just doesn't happen that way. And I'm saying to you, that is a cosmetological phenomenon that happens once you have a porosity that is set by having ammonia, relax. It has to have a different, do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, now hold on. Now I'm on here now. I'm looking this up, and they're saying that when you shampoo your hair too vigorously, you can damage the outer layer of your hair. This is the American Academy of Dermatology, and they recommend gently massaging your hair. And they're saying that this is caused by also
and no cosmetologist told them that. Not one dermatologist shampoos hair. Not one cosmetologist told a dermatologist that.
Yeah. Ever. So this is so.
Now, how long you been doing hair? Now, I've been doing it over 38 years, and I hate saying that because that shit don't mean nothing. I don't know why people say that. However, I have studied it with our own money, our own test, our own microscopy test. And Mr. Morrow, between myself and Mr. Morrow, we've got about 25 of them. That a dermatologist was not told that by people who do and shampoo hair 10 times to 12 times a day, every day, for 38 years. That is not true. I don't know where they got that from. Maybe they got that from.
They put it on that little machine, that little thing, the little testing thing. They don't source this stuff up. You are correct. I hope you guys are following.
I know they just made that up.
All right, guys. So again, welcome. We got some people that come through the chat. Y'all, we're talking about, this is our first podcast. We're talking about Planet Pluto Pseudo, the Black Hair Myth Busting podcast. And we're on this high growth fatigue. Here's another thing that's interesting.
No, right.
So they said here, alkaline shampoos tend to strip the protective 18 MEA layer from your hair follicles. At this time, it isn't clear what is the best pH value. I'm sorry, let me repeat this. At this time, it isn't clear what the best pH value is for hair health, but using a shampoo with a pH similar to your scalp value of 5.5 may help you prevent the breakdown of your 18 MEA layer. Now, I have never heard.
Now, that meta 18 sanazoic acid, okay, is what babies come into this world with. Okay. But that wears off when you are talking about chemical processes. But highly coiled people have a different degree of what we call, Mr. Morrow would call that waxy kind of protective. It's the same thing that leaves have. That's why they look glossy sometimes, but then they weather and they age and then they brown and then they fall off, like ends of hair. It's the same process, y'all. My point is that cosmetic science, when you start getting into the cosmetology of things, must be ran, and the information, the studies, the research, all of that must be done from people who do hair. Not, I don't know who's, because some of the principles apply, but then it's nuanced when it get from food science to cosmetic science, and you can't apply all of that at the same time. But when you start, but at the end of the day, the shampoos are surfactants. They have polar and molecular relationships with water and detergents. All that shit's going down the drain. It is not affecting the hair per se that way. And I don't even know if people actually go into beauty supplies and say, I'm gonna buy me an acid shampoo, and let me go buy.
Well, I don't know anything about a shampoo that's high in alkaline.
Yeah, what I'm saying is,
I'm just saying.
But do you see how dermatology is starting to get into something that they know nothing about? Because they know that damn well that as a dermatologist, her ass or his ass ain't walked into no CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, or Walmart and had a shampoo that said alkaline shampoo on it.
Yeah, you got, now this is from a website called Healthline. We have got to watch out for this. This is that pseudo shit that we keep talking about, because they also, I've been a cosmetologist for 23 years. I have never heard somebody walk into the beauty supply store. Yes, I'm looking for a high alkaline shampoo. That sounds like a money field glycolate to me.
Right.
But hold on.
What I'm saying is,
but hold on, I'm sorry, because I think now I could be wrong. I'm gonna put this link in the chat, but her spiel is almost identical to this link. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, guys. I'm gonna put it in the link. I can't do it now because I'm on my phone. But I'm gonna let you guys go ahead on and fact check her, because it goes on to say what? Coconut oil is the one type of oil that has been found to reduce protein loss in your hair when used as a pre-wash. Coconut oil is made of a medium chain of what? Fatty acids called lauric acid. That's thought. Y'all ready? That's thought to allow it to be absorbed into your hair follicle easier than others. So you guys see the mind fuckery? I mean, come on, man. ditch the pre-wash thing? Because I said I like kind of washing up with your panties on. You know, who puts something on top and then try to wash up? You got to take all your clothes off to take a shower. So, I mean, this is just me. Y'all know I'm Kilolo. I know I'm over here on the planet Pluto Pseudo podcast when that shit changed, okay? I'm not, I ditched the cold wash thing immediately. It just came across my mind. And I said, yeah, we think, therefore it is. You are absolutely right. So I think she took that spiel directly from this because it's identical in its content. And this is what we're talking about. People do this kind of stuff. They'll go to, and this is where I'm at. I'm on Healthline. And so this is where I think she pulled her whole spiel from, if not, it's very close. The language is almost identical to what she was saying. But as we can see here, guys, they're they're mixing food science up with cosmetology. This stuff is not being talked about by people or taught by people who actually work with hair. And I can tell you, Miss Foster, you said she agrees. I have never heard of a cosmetologist going into any store or at any trade show and say, hey, do you have some some shampoo that's high in alkalinity?
Wait a minute. You know, the industry, cosmetology, natural hair, braiders, locticians, trichologists, everybody. Well, they agree that, let's say, oh, your scalp is about 4.5. Do you know that there is not one shampoo that got 4.5 on the shit? Not one. We don't have it. You would think that an industry would be that bright to say, well, why don't we have 4.5 shampoos? Not one. Now, in fact,
the FDA don't even have one. I'm sorry. There is one. Farm Avalon has their neutralizing shampoo, and on it doesn't say.
Well, no,
it doesn't.
The moment it is called a neutralizing shampoo, it ain't a 4.5. Soap is automatically alkaline. Soap, detergent. It's called what, y'all? Sodium. That's what it's called. I mean, and my whole thing is that I love the way, Miss Burns say I'm defiant. Well, no, come on, y'all. We got to go back to the farm, the distillation, the core principles of chemistry and alchemy. The principles always stay the same. Industrial science stays the same. Cosmetic science stays the same. And food chemistry stays the same. Chemistry, cosmetic, food, they may get oils, has large industrial, food, smaller, cosmetic, smaller. They don't ever change. And we can just use common sense. And that is what probably, and I understand that marketing gets in there, but at the end of the day, I am an advocate at this point in my career. And we just have to just tell the truth so we can get to keep the hair on our head, and we can do it and call, and I have that responsibility as a professional. Don't we like doctors who are defiant? Don't we like doctors who tell the truth? Don't we like doctors that can say, look, I don't have to put you on this medication. What I want you to do is go home. I want you to drink some lemon water, and I want you some celery juice, and do this. Change your diet. You can help me take care of you. I'm gonna put you on this medication for a minute, but I want you to eat yourself out of this, through your diet. We have to be advocates at this point so we can get Black hair care back on the right track.
You're right. So high growth fatigue, guys, you're skirting over into cosmetology as it relates to chemically treated hair, hair that is not chemically treated. High growth fatigue more than likely just won't work because You're not altering the hair in any capacity when you just shampoo it and twist it and braid it. There's nothing happening to that. So high growth fatigue, it is a real phenomenon, but when it comes to natural hair, that's very questionable. I will put that link in the chat after this live gets posted. But here, Miss Foster, Miss Beauty, according to Miss White, says she agrees. As we wrap this up, Miss Foster has this to say, Cheryl. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. She said she thought it had to be higher. She thought shampoo, I hope that's what you're talking about, Miss Foster. She said she thought shampoo had to be higher in pH in order to cleanse properly.
Well, let's put it this way. I'm going to answer that just plain simple. When you put a water softener in your house, what are you trying to save on? You use less detergent in soft water and more detergent in hard water.
True.
Okay.
Right.
So your suds get sudsier in alkaline, soda, baking soda, soft water, right? Salt softens, calcium acid hardens. So that's why you see the film when the water evaporates in your pot and you see those deposits. That's acid. Okay, not salts. Okay. So my point is that regardless of what you have, the key here, since we are oil people, what is the pH of the oil?
Oh, you went there. You went. What's up, Mika? What's the pH of oil? 7. It's neutral.
Oh, don't cook it up.
Look it up. Okay. Oh, Miss Foster said no pH. Hold on. Don't cook it up. Hold on, y'all. Wait a minute. It's late. It's more people coming. Y'all ain't ready to go to bed. They coming through here like it's 10 o'clock in the morning. Hold on, y'all. We ain't gonna keep y'all all night, but I gotta look this up. Hold on. Wait a minute. Somebody look it up with me. Help me out. Come on, y'all. My phone's kind of slow. Okay, hold on. Let me go back. What is the pH of oil? Don't cook it up. I'm sure my BFF Kevin Chill heard. He's right here on Facebook. What is the pH of oil? Here we go. The pH. Oil-based or synthetic-based oils are neutral. Come on, Kilolo. It's neutral. They have a pH value which is about 7 on a scale of 0 to 14. So I was correct. So oil is neutral.
And most of them are slightly alkaline.
And it did say that. God damn it, Cheryl, you make me die. Get take it. Damn, there it is, guys. She's not lying. Oh shit. Hold on, there it is. I don't want you guys to think I'm kissing her Watusi. Most of water-soluble oils are slightly alkaline.
Now, but
now watch see my flip. I see how I flip.
And that is just they become carcinogenic when they're healthy.
It's getting late now. Hold on.
They're healthy when they go in your mouth, when they're cold. But when they become carcinogenic or
wait a minute, hold on. You're moving a little bit too fast. So when you say carcinogen, you do mean cancer causing, right?
Or cancer prone.
Okay, hold on. We got to answer. Hold on.
Which means you change the nature of oil.
All right, so we do have an answer. Damn, Miss Foster, you came through like a mug. Y'all brain, my brain. Hold on. Here she goes. She right. It becomes carcinogenic when it's heated. Is that correct? Survey says.
So you see how you can
Wait a minute. You didn't say if she was wrong or right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Fried, when you start frying them, when you start heating them, when you fry them, when you do the hot oil treatment. You see, that's when you start getting into, you take dietary issues and you put it in cosmetic science, and you start mixing them up, and then you can do industrial science, and then you start taking all the principles, you conflate them, you mix them up, and that is why planet Pluto Pseudo, we have to get the information right. What are we talking about when we're talking about it? What are we talking about? Critical analysis of what we're talking about, so you won't miseducate people.
So as we wrap this up, I did do a little source here for you guys. I'm just going to put it here in the chat. I hope it comes through. There it is. This is a little research here. And it's actually about this content of hair pretty much being hydrophobic. That's some real research. They tested with some wool and all this other good stuff. Is there for you if you are a hair nerd. And we'll be doing this every time. It's got sources at the bottom of it if you want to go through and check the scoreboard. We're also going to be recommending a book of the month. And so it's August. And so our book of the month is going to be Styling Jim Crow. All right, African American Beauty Training During Segregation. And this is by the wonderful, the incomparable Julia Kirk Black Wilder. Phenomenal. And I do mean a phenomenal. This is a book that you probably will not be able to put down when we are talking about our place in history, Black history, not hair. Remember, Black hair, that's shit pseudo too, okay? But we're saying Black hair because Black people are afflicted. But let me just read one little passage from here. Get y'all a copy. And this is hardback. So, by the way, it's hardback, so you can keep it. It's got the jacket, real throwback books. I don't know if it's on ebook. It's old school. But here she goes, Cheryl. This is on page 7 in her introduction. I met a cute guy on the airplane, by the way. I was writing all my notes about what Cheryl said. He said, "Who the hell is Cheryl?" He looked up at he said, "If you write Cheryl name down one more time," he asked me, "Who the hell is Cheryl?" Okay. So here it goes on page 7. This is our book of the month. We'll probably take it through September, since we're just kind of getting it started. And we're going to pick a passage at the end of the podcast on Thursdays. And we're talking about styling Jim Crow. And again, the author is Julia Kirk Black Wilder. So here we go on page 7. She says here, the rapid expansion of the beauty industry through the 1920s had led to the broad employment of untrained workers. Once licensing of beauticians and barbers was in place, both schools and licensed practitioners sought to drive jet-lagged beauty operatives out of business, both as a means to distance themselves from the less qualified and as a means of driving up the prices, because y'all gonna pay for this knowledge. While unlicensed workers were never entirely eliminated, their numbers dwindled as they quit the business of working without education and completed and submitted to education and to state examinations. That's the power of education, what Cheryl is talking about when she says we've got to hold these people accountable. We've already done it, guys. And here is a book.
Yes.
And the key word here is African American Beauty Training. So there are a lot of people out here who are teaching in the world of beauty, and they are not respecting the foundation that was set. Now, I'm not saying that Black Afro hair science is in that beauty training, but I am saying is that it was African Americans who are responsible for the cosmetology and barbering education that you all think is so shitty. I mean, really, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have to stop this. We have a history. We did this. We started this. This is a book that is telling you in the 1920s. And every week, I mean, when we do this, I'll just pull a little chapter, a little passage from this, and we'll just have a book. They may not all be about cosmetology. It could be all types of stuff. But this is the book for the month. We're talking about August and September, Styling Jim Crow. I think it's under $25 if you want to know how much it costs. No, you cannot find it on Amazon. No, this is not available on Amazon. I will put where you can get this at Texas A&M University Press. You're going to have to buy this from the actual college. It is not, because it's I don't want to say it's out of print, but you do have to buy it from the actual university. So that's where you can get that book. Yes, please get the book. Yes, come on. I love you guys. Let me play our little thing one more again before we come up out of here. You guys are the best. So here we go, Cheryl. Let's hit this one more again.
Pampa me on, pampa me on.
You guys are bold. Let me just say that if you stayed up with us for an hour and a half, almost an hour and 45 minutes, you guys are absolutely bold. And so we appreciate you guys very, very much. We're going to be here every Thursday night at 10 o'clock. And we're going to confront. We have a legacy that we have to uphold. And so this is not the only, there's several books. She's got some serious ass bibliography. If you want to, like we say, check the scoreboard. So, she laid it out. I mean, good Lord. So you can actually go ahead and fact check her. I did. I was going through here. It actually helped me in my testimony to end Ohio's what would you call efforts to say that natural hairstylists did not need any education. Now, I couldn't argue if they needed license, but they do need education. So it was all of the content came from this book that was driven by none other than my BMF, who was telling me stuff. And I'm going to tell you right now, Cheryl, you are a wonderful friend. Because I've been the one that's defiant. What's her name? She said that you were very. Let me put that back up in the chat. So I have to be honest here. Let me see if I can find it right quick. Hold on. There. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Comments. I was in the wrong one. Okay, so she said it was. Hold on, let me find her. Where's she at here? Okay, Miss Barnes, which we thank you so much. Kayla Barnes, she was totally awesome. She said Cheryl is very defiant, but actually, guys, I was very, very defiant when my very first conversation with Cheryl was very defiant. I was also embarrassed and so on and so forth. But Cheryl, you have been wonderful in putting up with me and my shenanigans and my ignorance that I really want to stand staunch on. And it takes a kind person, because the way you corrected me has got me to this point, and my career, my business, my colleagues, and entire industry is getting in touch with the truth. And so we really appreciate you for this because you're like a lone you're by yourself in this, and people are coming after you. People are actually calling me, asking me for your Afro hair sign. So I'm going to say it right here, right now. I do not own the content of the Afro hair science. You will have to reach out to Cheryl for that. But in the meantime, we do have a summit that's coming up on Monday, October the 23rd. If you are a licensed professional, here's a little clip for you guys to check us out.
If you would let me do your hair, let me do your hair, let me do your
Yes, and big ups to the Ohio Association of Beauticians and Powell's Barber and Beauty Supply. That is going to be the location where we're going to host this at. So you guys are more than welcome to join us. The tickets are available on afrohairscience.com. It's very affordable. It's just $65. Your lunch is included. The hotels nearby so far, everything pretty much looks to be under $125. So it's a very affordable education. If you have to fly in, or if you live nearby, maybe Detroit, Elyria, somewhere nearby, please come over and join us for the Afro Hair Science Summit. Cheryl, anything you want to say to us about, just being responsible, and because that's what this is all about. So give us some wisdom on just being responsible as professionals.
I know everyone, regardless if they do know or don't know, I do think that we naturally want to do our best. And I know we want to care for our consumer and our clients. And I think we appreciate it when it's done to us. And when we can go to other services and other industries and get very quality advice. And we depend on them, especially when they have doctor at the beginning of their name or whatever, JD or whatever MD at the end of their name. But if they're dedicated to their craft, they must be dedicated to be the most informed that they possibly can be. And so we are dedicated to that. And because that has been my family's background, Mr. Morrow, Willie Morrow has, he devoted his life. He left a legacy for all of us to follow, and success leaves clues. And so that is what is before us. And so all we have to do is follow in their footsteps and really protect and give our industry a prestige and a code of conduct. And we have a social contract to fulfill. And that is what we plan to do. And so thank you guys for being up late with us. I appreciate that. And thank you.
We really, Miss Foster, everyone in the chat, you all have been absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much for partnering with us. Miss Barnwell, we hope you guys come back. Miss Kayla Burns, we love having you in the chat. And you let Cheryl know she's being very defiant. Beauty according to Miss Y, welcome. Thank you guys so very much. We'll be here every Thursday at 10 o'clock. Miss Tennille, you are the bomb.com. Miss Foster, we appreciate you so very much. Mika, we're trying very hard. Mika is always in the over in the chat with the pseudo killers. You guys can see the inspiration here. Go check out Asar Imhotep, Dr. Oya Ma'at. These are wonderful, wonderful platforms. They have so much different types of content. So again, that's Asar Imhotep. We're talking about the pseudo killers, Brother Unc and Juju and all of them over there, Chef, all of them, they're over there, the Masi Warriors. Warrior Clan, Sean, Kofi Pie Side, and then, like I said, Dr. Oya Ma'at. Check out their YouTube channels. They are absolutely phenomenal. I will drop the links to the people that we use their video clips. They do have some pretty good content. So by all means, go ahead on and check them out. Thank you, Miss Powell. We got Miss Maria Powell is in the chat. She is the owner of Powell's Barber and Beauty Supply. She and her wonderful husband, they are welcoming Cheryl and I to their wonderful facility in Toledo, Ohio, over at 901 Nebraska Street or Avenue. That's in Toledo, Ohio. So if you're over, please go shop with them. I'm going to bring my money so I can shop when I get there. So thank you so much, Miss Maria. So we're going to go ahead on and close this out. And so with that being said, our quote that we're going to end all of our podcasts is something that my aunt and my mom, y'all know my aunt just passed away. She made her transition. She is officially an ancestor. Okay, she and my mom. And this is what they would say to us whenever we just complained about people like Cheryl who hold us to our, like she said, this is our social contract. So in the spirit of Miss Julia Kirk Blackwell, of course, Dr. Willie Morrow and Cheryl Morrow, this is what my mom and my aunt would say whenever we would complain about people like Cheryl who says, guys, you can do better. And what they would say is good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. Guys, we will see you next Thursday at 10 o'clock. This was absolutely phenomenal. Thank you, Cheryl. You are totally, completely awesome.
Thank you. You too as well.